experiencing some typical...
What up, motherfuckers? We're back on part 2. Anyway, we're talking about Black Flag. We're talking about... okay, so what I was saying to you was the closest thing I saw to Black Flag was that show in Sundance Film Festival for the American Hardcore book, the documentary that came out, and it was DOA and the Circle Jerks playing. Well, the Circle Jerks was the closest thing I saw to Black Flag. And then, before that, way back in like 2000 or 2001, it was the Henry Rollins Band playing the basement of Deviate, doing all Black Flag songs, and it was a fundraiser for the West Memphis 3 guys. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, they it's 3 kids that got charged with murder of these 3 little boys. It's a brutal true crime thing. Anyone familiar with true crime knows the case. But that was the closest I saw to Black Flag that I would consider,
I think the closest I've seen was probably Flag. I saw Flag at Punk Rock Bowling.
Who was singing for Flag?
I think it was Keith Morris.
Shorter guy with dreadlocks?
Yeah.
That's Keith Morris. Yeah. You can't mistake Keith Morris. Yeah. He's a shorter guy with dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. So, and he also plays in the band Off. Mm-hmm. And Off is pretty good too. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Keith Morris has always been one of my favorite punk rockers, just because I like the way he talked. It was a very Southern California kind of surfer style. It was like,
oh yeah, man.
He's like, we just said, later on to the outro, later to the intro, let's fucking get a song going and get to it, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, very like Southern California, fucking Ventura, California type talking,
So, go get some waves, dude.
It was always pretty fucking fun. It was like, and that's how he talks. Mm-hmm. I just kind of thought of this. When they came, that was right after Katrina hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why I remember that. I think it's just because we just went to Peru. It was fucking weird because we're on our way to Peru and we saw these storm clouds because you fly through Texas for some reason. I don't know. Whatever.
Flight
patterns, yeah. Dude. I don't know shit about it. All I know is the Earth is flat. If you don't agree with me, you don't believe in God, you fucking fuckers. Mm-hmm. But like we saw like storm clouds and shit, and we knew that those storm clouds over Texas were part of that storm system, fucking everybody up in fucking Louisiana. So.
How bad did you guys get hit when we had that pretty bad wind system come through?
Nothing.
Like a month? You guys got nothing?
We got wind.
Oh, we
got wind. No,
we got hit good in Ogden. There's like
Ogden always gets
everywhere.
fucked. Always gets fucking.
There's
fucked.
A friend of mine.
But you're at the base of that mountain.
Yeah.
You're right at the fucking base of that mountain.
Yeah, I live South Ogden-ish area. So I'm not too terribly far from
that whole area, though, dude.
Oh, that place it was literally a hurricane winds. Like I have a friend of mine that moved from Florida to the Terrace. She just lived down the street from me, and she's like, "Now you know how it's like to live in Florida."
See, he said the Terrace. That means he's hood as fuck. Because when you say the Terrace, that means Washington Terrace.
Yeah.
It means you're gonna get fucking raped and murdered. There's a couch on your fucking front lawn.
Yeah, man, I love the Terrace. I've been living there. I mean, the Terrace is fucking awesome.
Hey, Northlander used to do our fucking practices up in the Terrace, up in that bitch.
Fucking was it at
Taylor's house?
Taylor's place.
Yeah.
I still have my Northlander shirt too.
Do you?
I still wear that shirt all the time.
I don't know where mine is.
Yeah, I miss that band a lot.
I miss that band a lot too. I wanted us to do like just because James moved to Arizona and stuff. I thought we could, write music, keep writing music, and make it happen. You know what I mean? Because a lot of bands do that.
Yeah.
I think Bad Religion does that. I think there's a good handful of bands that still do that kind of thing. Okay, I wrote this riff. You guys check it out. Write some drum shit to it.
Well, my buddy's band Noise does that a lot too, just because Matt's over, on the East Coast doing stuff with the Army, and everyone else is over in Tacoma. So
there's a way. When there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wish, I kind of want that band to have continued because I really enjoyed it. And let's see, like any of the bands I was in after when I was doing vocals. So I was doing writing. And writing has always been a passion of mine. But the shitty thing about loving to write is you put a lot of yourself into it. You put a lot of like dark, fucked up shit that you have lived through, and you use that to write. So you kind of become kind of a sensitive bitch if anyone is rude or critical about it. You're like, motherfucker, that's about my dad trying to kill himself. Shut the fuck up. Don't you fucking criticize that. But they don't know that. They don't know that. They're just like, man, I thought those fucking lyrics were stupid, or I thought that guitar riff was stupid, or whatever. So with Northlander, I thought I really found a good kind of niche in between writing on things that were based in mythology and that kind of thing, but also interesting. I don't know though. That's just me. I wish the band would have continued. Never, but like I said, dude, never fucking say never. So you never know. I mean, I'm still in contact with everyone that played in that band. I still talk to Charles. I still talk to James. I still talk to Taylor's.
Taylor's pretty much my next door neighbor. I see that kid every single week.
Do you? You should fucking stick your dick in his ass.
I want to.
Yeah, I do too. Kind of.
He's a cutie.
He is a cutie. And his goofy little smile.
The fucking charm of his.
I do want to get him on this fucking podcast one day. Just get him drunk and have him talk about fucking.
God, I want to get him drunk so bad.
It'd be fun. Oh, it ain't hard, dude.
Free beers.
Motherfucker weighs 100 pounds and steel-toe boots on, dude. Plus, he likes to drink, so good for him. God bless America.
I've only drank with that guy once.
Really?
Yeah. We were...
oh, dude, we'd get drunk every fucking band practice.
Cult Leader did a show at some record shop.
Was it? Oh, okay.
In Salt Lake. They did a show. Me and him walked over
It's across the street from the heavy metal shop.
Kind of. It's in that area. It was near where Beer Bar is. We went and drank at Beer Bar before seeing them.
Okay, that's Diabolical.
Yeah, so it was Diabolical.
Diabolical, yeah, man.
Yeah, it was some record shop in the middle of an alley, and
yeah, that's Diabolical. Remember concerts?
Good old day. Well, okay, so before the pandemic started, what was the last concert you saw?
Oh man, I don't really remember. It might have been.
Was it I Hate God when they came here?
I didn't go to it. It might have been that Devastation Nation tour.
Oh, the one that you and your son went to.
Yeah.
God, who played that one?
Oh man, that was a fucking stacked lineup, dude.
Well, because I remember listening to that episode that you were
Hate from a Fish, Hate from Poland, Incantation, which was the main reason I went. Belphegor.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen those guys. Jake Vansel talked about them so fucking much.
They're a lot of fun. Dark Funeral, who I could give a flying fuck about.
Yeah. It would be cool to see.
Their earlier stuff was good, but I don't really care about Dark Funeral. God, who else was on that fucking show?
God, another show that I missed that I was supposed to see this year was fucking... Well, God, I can't...
Archgoat was supposed to come through this month.
Mayhem was supposed to be here with...
That's not Mayhem.
Yeah, but still.
That's Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher.
Who also was on his way to kill fucking Euronymous.
Oh, it was them, and I keep forgetting the guy's name, but
whoever was opening for him, I would have went and saw that. He's gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Because, me and my buddy Cam were gonna go to that show.
Whoever was opening up for it, I probably would have went and saw them, and then left before quote unquote mayhem.
Mayhem and Abbott.
Oh.
I was gonna go for Abbott.
I don't give a fuck about Abbott either.
It was Gate Creeper and Idle Hands.
Idle Hands is fucking badass. Idle Hands is very cool. They do almost like clean singing, but very kind of gothy Misfits kind of shit. Mm-hmm. You should check them out. That's a cool fucking band.
But yeah, the last concert for me was I flew out to Portland beginning of February and went and saw my buddy's band, The Drowns, came down and played. Went and hung out with Court.
What kind of music is that?
They're like
Drowns.
They're like street punk. I would say probably street punk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Court in forever since he moved out to Vancouver. So.
There's a lot of fucking good bands in Portland. A lot of good like war metal bands coming out of there. War metal.
There's a
Directive fucking is coming out. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Portland has a really good punk scene. Like I'm really close with the guys from Rum Rebellion.
Yeah.
Those guys are freaking badass.
Try not to burp on Mike, and I am. I'm sorry. Okay, now I don't feel so bad. Yeah, I've never been to Portland. I did go up to Oregon to visit a couple family members. And
I love that area. I love the Pacific Northwest.
One of my best friends, Justin. And every day started with me just... He set aside a pile of weed just for me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, here, we start our day off with this.
My friend Court tried to get me to smoke when I was up there.
Why didn't you smoke?
Because I work a warehouse job in Utah.
How often do you
One
get
little
tested?
accident and they make me pee in a cup. And I'm like, as much as I want to participate, I like my job. I want to stay there. I don't want to have one small little slip up.
Right.
Which I think is stupid because,
I think it's stupid.
It's going to happen eventually. I think it's definitely going to happen.
I got weed upstairs. You want to fucking smoke some?
No, it's I think it's one of the things that's stupid with my work. I won't say their name in case
that's fine.
Listening, but
you already said it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So I'm currently taking 5 different medications for a variety of reasons. Depression, anxiety, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I can easily drop every single one of them for medical marijuana.
Yeah.
But my work is still we don't care if you piss dirty, you're automatically fired.
I don't trust medical marijuana for depression shit. I trust shrooms for that. Very much so. Microdosing mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms.
Legal in Oregon now.
Psilocybin. Well, everything's legal.
Well, it's going
to
take eventually some time, but no.
But and it also depends on what kind of panel your job runs your piss through. But most of them don't come up on a drug test. Mm. But I do trust mushrooms for a depression, anxiety type thing.
Because I've heard of mushrooms.
But you got a microdose. Yeah. You can't fucking...
You can't take the whole thing just...
No, you don't fucking eat like an eighth of it and call it good. Because...
You'll go off in the la la land and you'll come back again.
You'll trip balls, and then a couple days later you'll remember that you have a chemical imbalance that causes depression, and you're depressed again.
You're back again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Western medicine has some good things to offer, and I think psychedelics and other things have other good things to offer too. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do LSD today because I don't trust who's making it. Is my biggest thing. But LSD did help me, really explore some parts of my upbringing and things like that were not so great, and I had some demons to work through for all that shit. And mushrooms are just a good time. All you do is sit there and laugh for an hour. Mm-hmm. You just sit there and laugh. First time I did shrooms with Cameron, and all we did was just sit there and laugh by a fire for 3 hours.
I would have paid money just to watch you guys be high on shrooms.
It was fun as shit. All we did was sit there and laugh. That's all we did. We just sat there and
Is
made each other laugh. It was the
Is it
greatest thing ever.
shrooms that, like, if it shows up on a drug test, it shows up as like food poisoning or stomach something sick? And I heard there's like something out there that's like.
All I've heard is that it rarely shows up on a drug test because it's based on the panel. Yeah. They run your piss through a panel. All these different things that they're looking for. They're looking for methamphetamine. They're looking for cocaine. They're looking for marijuana. Maybe not so much anymore. My cousin is the sheriff of Tooele, of all of Tooele, the main sheriff, the main dude, and he's like, we don't even have our dogs fucking trained for marijuana anymore. He's like, it's just like, he's like, I'll pull a person over if they're fucking high as fuck and they're driving like shit, and I'll arrest them because they're under the influence of something. They're clearly a danger to everyone else, but he's like, we don't even have dogs sniff for that anymore. We have them sniff for more like methamphetamine, that kind of thing. Especially because we're Midwest, we're Utah, you know what I mean? We're in the middle of fucking nowhere, so people make meth. They make it in their fucking bathtubs. You know what I mean?
God, freaking middle of nowhere. Freaking, I met that, since you brought that up, I remember, when my days at the basement were done, I started working for Rick Shoes up in Salt Lake.
Yeah, fuck that faggot.
Yeah.
Can't stand him.
He's always treated me well. He paid me for my shows.
Yeah.
He if he wasn't able to pay me, he guest listed me for any concert I wanted to go to. But I remember he gave me some insight, and it was him that taught me a lot about, booking bands and stuff like that. And, Utah is just one of those places where if a big band's going to come through Utah, they're not going to really play on, like, a Saturday night or a Friday night. They want to save those nights for, like, either Denver or Los Angeles. Usually, if a big band's going to come through here, they're going to play, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, something like that.
Well, anyone with a map can fucking figure that out.
And then I know for the longest time, I've wanted to get out of the state because a lot of my favorite bands, especially a lot of the European metal bands that I like to listen to, would never play Utah when they would come to the U.S. They would either play Denver, or they would play Seattle, or they would play Portland or Los Angeles. Yeah. But now especially a lot of the really big Finnish bands that I like are starting to come over here, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should stick here. And then I eventually got a better job, and I'm like, man, I can just live, and I'll just fly out to go and see them.
Well, I'll tell you this. You remember I used to do that festival called Lucifest?
Oh God.
Okay.
When
I booked those, it was between the Las Vegas. What is it? Las Vegas Death Fest or whatever it is.
It was in between. It was in between the Death Fest.
It was in between that one and in between like one that they did in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That I thought a lot of those bands going that way or coming this way for the Las Vegas thing would be coming through town anyway.
You'd be like, hey, you want to make some money?
So you might as well stop here, make some money on your way to your big payday. And that was one of the ways that I would try to book bands.
God, that festival was so cool.
It was very cool.
There was I remember that the first, because you did 2 nights. There was like one night was more hardcore.
It was, it was.
And the next night was more metal.
The first night was more locals because the locals could make it on the Friday. Mm-hmm. The Saturday, I wanted people from Idaho, fucking southern Utah, even like Wyoming, Las Vegas, if they could make it, come on out to that one, because there's bands from out of town on their way to this other thing you might not be able to see. You know what I mean?
God, I miss that show, the festival. So
it's kind of a funny chess game when you're booking.
Well, I remember because you booked this really big hardcore band, and I remember I was hanging out with Barrett and Riley Wagner there.
Yeah.
And one of the homies from one of the bands just accidentally bumped into Barrett, and a fight just started happening, and they ended up just leaving like mid-set.
Really?
Yeah.
I know what band that was.
Yeah. And they were so good.
I
love
know
those
what
guys.
band that
they
was.
were good, but then
They're actually locals.
Are they locals?
They were locals. They were locals because
I thought they were out of state.
No, they seem very out of state. They're weird. It was called Holy Family, and Barrett came up. And he was like, "Sorry,
Someone swung on me."
He's like, "Sorry, I punched that guy." I was like, you're talking to me. I could give a flying fuck. You can punch as many people as you want. I don't give a shit.
Well, it's just like one of those situations. You know,
it was very nice of him.
Yeah,
but it's like you know who you're talking to. Yeah. I don't care if people fight at my shows.
It's one of those things that you always face whenever you go to a hardcore show. You know, you might accidentally get pushed into someone, and that person think, "Oh, you started attacking me. I'm going to start punching you."
Yeah.
I had that. That was the only time I ever got knocked out at a hardcore show was it was Lionheart and Thick as Blood.
Yeah.
Booked them at the basement, and I was working that night, and I was just being pit police, making sure everyone was
being nice,
being
cordial.
And then I was standing outside, and then the only thing I remember is I got slammed on the back of my head, and I dropped, and there's these 10 heavily tattooed dudes that just came up and just started stomping on me for just no reason.
Oh shit!
And I remember my buddy Dominic he was working security for us, and I remember him just brass knucks on. He was just slugging at people just to try to get off me and bring me into Jason's office.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of Thick as Blood set, and they wanted to call an ambulance because I got knocked the fuck out. I probably had a concussion. They're like, "You need to call an ambulance," and I'm like, no. I'm like, I've never seen Lionheart before. I want to stay and see those guys. I probably should have went to the hospital that night, but I'm like, no, I want to see Lionheart.
And that's what happened to Cody.
But no, it was actually cool. They brought me up on stage when they did Brothers Keeper.
That's
cool. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah. I got knocked out. I got knocked out completely at a show. It was at Deviate, but in the upstairs area. It was during, I think, Biohazard set. Yeah, it was Biohazard, and a friend of mine elbowed me in the face. He's a very big guy, very strong guy. Everybody knows who he is here in Salt Lake City. And I fell against this other guy who a lot of old guys who know in Salt Lake City. And he was like, "Oh, he's out." And he just kind of put his arms
just
underneath my armpits and just held me until I fucking came to, like a minute or two later. The one guy didn't know he did anything at all. But yeah, he elbowed me right in the forehead, and I don't know if it was forehead or my nose or whatever it was strong and hard enough to knock me right out.
Yeah, that show was just a sketchy show just because there was 3-4 different crews there. There was guys from Endurance, there was guys from I just saw so many people there, and it was just, I'm like, there's gonna be something happening. I just know for a fact because you can sense it. It's like the energy and the vibe of the room, and you'll be like, oh god, someone's getting knocked out tonight.
Yeah, I would go out of my way. I would make it a point to book bands that wouldn't play together. Yeah, and get mixed groups,
mixed genre shows,
mixed genres in a show, because. One, I'm okay with chaos as long as it doesn't go too far. Yeah. And two, I want people to experience different music that they wouldn't have to sit through. And even if they're standing in the back with their arms folded, when is this band gonna end their set?
Oh god, they're only on their second song.
Yeah. They have to sit through it. And maybe by the second, third, fourth song, they're like, "Oh, fuck, cool. Dude, that's a good riff," or "That drummer's fucking crazy." You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Well, that's how I got the idea for when I started doing my birthday shows. Yeah. Was I would just have I have so many friends that are in bands from working in the local scene, and I'm like, I want to do a show where, I give back to the local scene that gave to me. So, my first show was weird. I had Folk Hogan, and then I had, they're a folky punk hippie
I know
band.
Who they are.
They're really, really good dudes.
I don't know their music,
but they're really good dudes. I love those guys so much. And then after them, I had some hardcore metal band, and then I had a pop band playing after. And it was just they're all just friends of mine, and I just wanted to have a lot of my friends' bands come together and just play music.
At the end of the day, we're all just fucking people. Yeah. We like what we like. Yeah. And maybe if someone forces us to listen to something else, maybe we stop being such cunts to those other people. You know what I mean?
Like I don't believe in guilty pleasures anymore. I just do not. Like I like hell. I was listening to Billie Eilish on my way up here because I'm like I think she's a really talented singer.
I was listening to Billy Idol before you came up here, thinking Billie Eilish should sound more like Billy Idol.
She's got some really good stuff. Like, I think for being someone who's an 18-year-old who's making that much money, like God, she's really talented. Like I think she is. Like I would like if she were to ever come back here for a concert, I'd go and see her.
Yeah,
like,
I'd go with you if you buy the ticket.
Well, hell yeah, I would.
If it's on a weekend, yeah.
I think the last concert
has to be on a weekend. You have to buy a ticket.
Weekend, yeah.
Then I would need at least 4 beers to get in the door.
Yeah, we'll have a couple car beers.
Okay, yeah, I mean.
You remember that? You remember when you and me went and saw Ghost when they played at the Depot?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
that was a fun show.
I went and saw Ghost because they reminded me of The Damned, and that's why everyone that loves Ghost, I'm like,
they need to
listen to The Damned, because The Damned were a punk band. They got kind of gothy, but kind of punky, and they kind of mixed the genres up a little bit, but they got some killer fucking songs.
God, I get so much shit for liking Ghost. Like it's because I would easily say Ghost is my favorite band. I love those guys. I have 2 Ghost tattoos. I
enjoyed the concert. It's pop metal. And that's not even like an insult. It's just calling a motherfucking spade a spade. I like the song from Metallica. What is the really big song that?
Was it a pretty recent one?
No, it's an older one. It's that Enter Sandman. I like the song Enter Sandman because a friend of mine who served in Iraq said before they went out and killed fucking jihadis,
they would play that song.
They would play that song because his Humvee was called the Sandman. And because of that story that he told me, I now like the song Enter Sandman, which is the biggest pop metal song that's ever been.
Was that around when the Black Album came out from Metallica? Was that around the time when they started going more mainstream?
That was from that album, I believe.
Yeah, it was Black Album.
Yeah, that was the Black Album. And there's some songs on the Black Album that are good.
I think it's like still to this day their most sold album to date.
Is it?
It's gotta be close.
It's not my favorite.
Dude, their new one, the Death Magnetic. Ooh.
I'm not gonna listen to it, dude. I mean, truth be told, I'm not gonna listen to that shit.
I like it because it sounds like old Metallica. It's like back here, they're more thrashy. But then again, the only reason I listened to Metallica was because of my dad. My dad liked Metallica, but I'm one of those guys that I think Megadeth is more better than Metallica.
More better.
That's the vodka talking.
I done like them more better than
Metallica. I just always liked. I've always liked Megadeth more than Metallica.
No, Megadeth is fucking badass. No, Megadeth is fucking badass. They got. That's one of those metal bands that they don't get a lot of credit from the masses, but they're the people that love Megadeth really love Megadeth.
And the cool thing I like about them too is they don't really play big venues.
They don't because
when they come through like Salt Lake, for instance, we have a venue here in downtown called the Complex.
Yeah.
And that's usually where they play. And the Complex has the cool thing about the Complex is you can have like 3-4 different shows going on at once.
Okay, so to people listening outside of Utah, the Complex is like
it's a warehouse.
It's a Cannibal Corpse deicide size venue. You can fit a lot of people in it.
One end.
It's a fine venue, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and you can have 3-4. There's like 3 different stages. You got one stage that can do about. I'll do one with you. You have one stage that can do about 800 to 900 people, which is called the Grand. It's the one that's on the right when you walk in, and then there's one on the left called the Rockwell.
Yeah.
The Rockwell can do about 3,000 to 4,000.
That's where I saw Obituary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, I was so drunk at that show. was.
But usually whenever when Megadeth comes here,
yeah.
they usually play the Rockwell, which is 3,000 to 4,000 people. Unless they're opening for someone, like whenever they do like that Gigantor,
the big four tour, which isn't going to happen anymore because Slayer is no more.
No, you can find a band that could replace them.
No, because they're part of the big four. It's the big four. It's Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax.
Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, and
Metallica. No, Metallica never came through.
Well, Metallica was always the last one to play.
Metallica never came through on the Big Four tour. It was always someone else. So it was always an opener. So Megadeth always headlined that shit.
You know, one band that if they were to ever do say for instance the Big Five, like if they
Pantera.
If you could, oh no, I would think
Pantera.
I would say Exodus.
I like Exodus very much, but Pantera.
But when I got into Exodus was when Rick booked them at Club Sound. It was when they had, I keep forgetting the guy's name. But it was when they started taking more of like a darker satanic-ish side. It was back when Gary Holt was still playing with them before he left for Slayer. God, that was a fun ass show too. There's like maybe 100 people in that room, and I'm like seeing one of the biggest bands in thrash metal.
Yeah.
And there's less than 100 people in the room. And I'm like, that was ooh.
Well, that's how it was.
I miss working shows.
That's how it was for St. Vitus.
I would have liked to have really seen them. There's so many bands. I have a huge bucket list of bands I want to see, and they're like top 5.
It was the original lineup of St. Vitus, and there was no one there. It was St. Vitus and Sons of a Hun, or whatever, Sons of the Huns. Either way, that band is no more. But yeah, man, yeah, man.
Yeah, there's just so many bands man.
I don't know if there's a lot of bands I really, really, really fucking need to see at this point. All of my favorite hardcore bands I've seen. With the exception of Minor Threat, which will probably never happen.
There's one hardcore band that I want to see.
What's that?
It's Jesus Piece.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because Matt Lloyd, a buddy of mine, he booked them to play at what's the name of the venue? It was the one that I was talking about before. It's a vegan restaurant during the day, and then they're a music venue at night. It's one with Conrad. And
you fucking told me about it.
I am drinking,
motherfucker. Oh damn, dude!
But he.
Are you okay to drive? You told me about this motherfucking place. The Beehive.
Yeah, the Beehive. The Beehive. He booked them to play the Beehive. And I had to work the night that Jesus Piece played.
Did they play?
Yeah, they played.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, God, I would have missed that show. And then the next week later, he booked Integrity. It wasn't Integrity. It was
It wouldn't be Integrity. I would fucking tell you if it was Integrity.
No, it was God.
I would have been there if it was Integrity. Or Ringworm.
Oh, I would have loved to see Ringworm. They played a
Have
show.
You never seen Ringworm? They come through Salt Lake City every time they do a tour.
They did a show with Harm's Way at Kilby Court.
It was fantastic.
God, I would have loved to have gone to that show.
And there was fucking some bullshit afterwards. And Kilby Court should not book shows like that.
So one of the
ever. That was on Kilby Court. That was on Will Sartain.
Well, do you remember
that was his fault?
Do you remember the whole Code Orange thing that happened at that show, where Code Orange played Kilby Court.
Oh, it was a Code Orange show. I'm sorry. I'm getting them mixed up. Code Orange show. That was Will Sartain's fault. Will Sartain, I hope you're listening. That was your fault. Your fault. Don't book bands that big at your 2 garage venue, you cunt.
One of the funnest shows I've been to. There's a part of me that I love seeing big bands like that play small venues, because I think it's more personal. Small venue. It's so much just energy.
Which is fine. Place. But a 2-car garage with a pole in the fucking middle of it? No way. That is
I've been slammed into that pole so much.
That is a fucking health hazard to anyone attending that concert.
I've been slammed into that pole so many times.
What they were doing was looking at the paycheck and looking at the bands and looking at the draw and how much they could charge per head, and not taking into consideration these bands bring mosh pits that want to mosh and be a little bit more violent. Mm-hmm. And you just have to fucking embrace that culture when you are approaching certain bands. I know.
There's been so many bands that played there that I'm like, why did you even book them there?
Why would you book them there?
I saw Black Dahlia Murder play Kilby Court, and I'm like, what the fuck is Black Dahlia Murder doing at Kilby Court?
Yeah.
They're a band that should be playing the complex or maybe in the venue. But
Metro venue, anywhere.
But then again, when Black Dahlia played that tour, when they played the Kilby Court, they purposely wanted to play super small compact venues because they were doing it was an anniversary tour. I think it was like their first EP before they got signed. They they wanted to play small venues.
They don't decide the venue. Mm-hmm. Their management does. And their management discuss with the management of that venue how many can you hold capacity. Yeah. How safe is it?
Hey, there's going to be some stuff that might happen.
Security.
Are you guys okay with this?
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a conversation. Yeah. And it's a conversation that needs to take place every time. It's not even a long conversation.
We'll be like, hey, this band plays violent music. There might be some stuff that happens. Are you guys going to be okay with this kind of stuff?
I've seen acoustic hippie bands play Kilby Court. Okay. That's, small punk bands, great. You don't book a big fucking draw band to goddamn Kilby Court. It's a 2-car garage. Unless you want to cut that wall open, make it that big area, get rid of your stupid fire pit and all your bullshit you need, make it an outside venue where there's a stage right there where everybody's fucking getting weird, and that is your venue. Yeah. That's what they should do.
Did you ever go to a show at the loading dock when they were still open?
Yeah. I used to.
Same kind of situation.
I did security for Frank at the loading dock because he needed more security there, and I was like, hell, I'll do it. There's weed there, right?
Oh God, I missed that place too. There's
I did a lot of security.
I saw Bane at the loading dock when they were on their first of their 4 or 5 final tours before they decided to break up.
God, dude,
they played the loading dock, and it's still probably one of the funnest hardcore shows.
Just give it up, dude. You got 3 good songs. You fucking meth addict with the ugly face. Oh man, he's got.
I love Bane.
The good songs are really good, but the rest are like, what are you gonna do?
I'm just reminiscent of this
is
old
fucking
venues
fun, dude. Closed. This is a lot of fun.
Fucking going back to, in the venue, or some of you old schoolers might know it as bricks, God, I've seen so many.
I've always known as bricks.
I've been to so many good God, probably still, oh man.
Fucking bricks.
I got a friend that lives down the street from that place, and
one of my closest friends worked security there for years and years.
Yeah, she was able
all the shows and shit. And during everything, and even up until almost the end, he worked security there. He was a straight edge guy.
I know the guy because
Will Moulton.
Yeah, well, because from when I was working with Utah Concerts, I got to know almost every single security, every single person that worked in that.
Very
place.
Nice guy, kind of goofy.
Yeah,
just a kind of my age skinhead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But he was straight edge at the same time, though.
God, I miss that place so much. I freaking still hate that they tore that place down.
It was a cool venue.
I saw Nightwish. The second time I ever saw Nightwish was at in the venue.
Yeah, see, that was another Finnish band. I was just like, I'll listen to Nightwish. I'll listen to them. Yeah, not my cup of tea.
They were the band that got. So I went from him, and then I went straight from him to Nightwish.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it was because of Nightwish that, because it was I was from Nightwish that my broad view of Finnish metal just explored.
Yeah.
But Nightwish and him will always have because if it weren't for bands like them, I wouldn't be into the metal that I'm into now.
I never judge anyone on what they listen to. I always just say, hey, do you like so and so? You should really check out this other band. Do you like Marilyn Manson a whole lot? Oh man, you should really check out Alice Cooper's 70s stuff.
Ooh.
Because Marilyn Manson is basically
copying Alice Cooper.
pink almond. Well, you can't say
Copying,
can't say copying. You gotta say it in a nice way.
In a nice way.
So you gotta say he's really paying homage to Alice Cooper's 1970s stuff.
The only concert I ever went to with my very religious Mormon mother was Alice Cooper. Yeah, my mom,
no shit.
My mom loved Alice Cooper in the 70s and the 80s.
Oh my god. 70s Alice Cooper is probably the best music
we saw
ever.
Alice Cooper. He played a Bravenel Hall.
Oh yeah.
Which is like a very prestigious orchestral concert hall here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And it was a weird show because
that's where the Nutcracker takes place. That's where classical music takes place. Plays take place.
A very beautiful venue. Like I love that place a lot, but it's like, why would you book a metal show or rock show there? But you don't really mosh around at an Alice Cooper show. You just stand there and you bob your head and stuff. But
you just kind of enjoy it.
And it was so much fun. That place is. Oh God, I just love Alice Cooper. One of the most coolest, nicest people in metal music. Like that guy does so much stuff for like he donates a lot of his money for charities and all this stuff. And it's like this probably one of the most nicest people in metal and rock.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I would love to meet that guy.
I don't know. I'm scared to meet him. I'm scared. I'm scared to meet my heroes. I really am. I know I could.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in Scottsdale. I've known people that live by Cooperstown, which is his restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona.
God, I want to get that place over.
And they're like, "Oh, he's just the nicest guy ever." We have this similar politics. We have similar tastes in music. All this shit. I'm just scared.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll ever meet him, just because of my own kind of hang-ups of, what if he's a cunt while I meet him? Mm-hmm. That ruins decades of music where I have worshipped this motherfucker. Like the same thing with Lemmy. What if I had met him and he was an asshole? He was a fucking asshole to me. What the fuck would happen?
I've had that.
What would happen to me?
I've had that happen to me so many. There's been maybe a few bands that
I'd make it a point not to meet the motherfuckers at this point.
Yeah, there's been a few bands that's been like that for me.
Who?
Elevati.
Okay.
They're this folk metal band that's out of Switzerland. Everyone else in the band, nice as fuck. They're really good people.
Yeah.
But the singer was a complete fucking dick.
Singer was a dick from Elevati.
But
fuck you, Elevati.
But honestly, one of the most nicest people that I've ever met in metal was freaking Johan Haig from Amon Amarth.
No shit.
That guy is a freaking teddy bear of man.
Amon Amarth still sucks.
But, he's a big, massive dude with this long hair, big beard, and giant Thor-hammer necklace that he wears.
They don't suck, they're just cheese.
But, you would look at this guy and you would think, oh, that's a scary motherfucker of a dude. But one of the most nicest guys I've ever met when I worked a show that Amon Amarth played. No. He was a nice ass dude. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Still cheese.
I love Amon Amarth.
I have lost interest in their albums ago. They're just too cheesy for me, man. The second they started having people in the audience row boats, I was like,
I remember watching a video on YouTube of just people doing that shit. I'm like, okay, it's not whatever.
This is gay.
Rowboat moshing.
You fucking rowboat moshers. Fuck that shit. And they haven't made a good album in 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
What do you think was their last good album?
I don't know, man. I haven't listened to them in so long. I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't a big fan to begin with.
You want to know what?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, we got 40 seconds left. Plug anything you want to plug.
I have nothing.
He has nothing.
I have nothing. I really don't.
All right, guys, go to Blackbird Tattoo and Piercing, 300 South State, Clearfield, Utah. Thank you all for tuning in. You can always reach me at rockupodcast@gmail.com. And maybe I get back to you, maybe I don't. Maybe fuck your mother. God bless America.
Yeah.
You. Thanks, Cody.